Hey everyone. Welcome to Gentle PSD. I'm really happy that you wanted to learn from me. I will post videos every 3 to 2 days. So please feel free to subscribe. I'm so gladly present you the very first tutorial of my channel. In this tutorial we will be learning about how to create this farewell confetti celebration effect in Photoshop. I will start the tutorial by saying this inspirational quote. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Said by Winston. Now without further ado, let's start creating. Create new document. The width is 2048, height is 1080, resolution is 300. Click create. Now we will select the foreground color palette and change the color to dark purple. You can use the same color like I do by use the hexadecimal. Create a new layer. Press Alt backspace on your keyboard to apply the color of the foreground. Now take the ellipse marquee tool. By holding Shift and Alt, we will drag a circle. Again create a new layer and we will change the foreground color to light yellow. Click Alt backspace at the same time to apply the foreground color on our new layer. Click Ctrl D to deselect the marquee tool. Double click on the circle layer to bring the layer style window. We will apply outer glow. Change the gradient color from orange to none. Make sure the size is 38 and the opacity is 100. Click OK. Now we will apply the Gaussian blur to our circle layer by going to Select, Blur, Gaussian blur. Increase the radius to 75 pixels. And click OK. Now transform it by pressing Ctrl T and decrease its size. To something like this, and place it wherever you like. I will place this at the bottom left corner of the canvas. That looks good for me. Now, click OK. Now we will duplicate the layer by pressing Ctrl J on your keyboard. Transform it and place it in a different place by pressing Ctrl T. Now click the OK mark to place it. I will hide the outer glow of our duplicated layer to make it different from one another. You can duplicate the layer by holding Alt and drag it to the place you want it to present. Click OK, unhide the outer glow of the newly duplicated layer. Again create a new layer. We will create an circle using ellipse tool again. Press Alt backspace to apply the foreground color, and press Ctrl D to deselect. Double click on our new circle layer. And we will apply the outer glow again. This time, we will use yellow to none gradient. Change the size to 35 pixels. And click OK. Press Ctrl T to transform. We will place it at the bottom right corner. and click OK. Decrease the opacity to 80%. We will duplicate the yellow circle and place it little above our previous circle. Place the newly duplicated layer below the circle layer and decrease its opacity to 28%. We will again create a new layer. And create a circle. Then drag it. Change the foreground color to sky blue. Then click OK. Press Alt backspace to apply the color, and press Ctrl D to deselect. Apply the Gaussian blur to the blue circle layer by going to Select, Blur, Gaussian blur. Change the blur radius to 40 pixels. Then click OK. Then transform it, and place it at the top of the canvas. We will keep duplicating the below layers, and place it in the random areas. Now create a new layer. Change the foreground color to red, and click OK. Create a new circle. Press Alt backspace to apply the foreground color. Now we will add the Gaussian blur. Change the blur radius to 110 pixels. Click OK. Decrease its size and place it wherever you like. For me, I will place it here. Change the opacity to 19%. And we will duplicate it again and again. Since you're kind enough to decided to watch my tutorial on your busy schedule, I really don't want to waste your precious time, so I will be fast forwarded to where I finish the bokeh. After you finish the duplicating process, group all the layers by pressing Ctrl G. We will name it as bokeh. Now right click on it and convert it to Smart Object. And add little Gaussian blur if you want. We finally finished the background work. Now we can focus on creating the confetti. Take your pen tool, start making the shape like me. You can cut the tangent angle by pressing out. Go to Fill. Select the gradient option. Select the right color fill. And we will choose yellow color. Now select the left fill. This time we will choose orange color. Drag the left color fill to the right to give it a little orange range. Rasterize the layer by right-clicking and select Rasterize. We will do the same duplicating technique that we did in the background process. As I said before, I really don't want to waste your time, so I will fast forwarding the easy parts. Take your pen tool and start making shapes. Like I'm doing. This time we will use the light blue to dark blue gradient in the gradient panel. Again take your pen tool. This time we will make a rectangular shape and use the gradient as light pink to dark pink color. Now we created the confettis that we needed. We will group all the confetti layers and group it by pressing Ctrl G. Transform it and place it where you like. I will place it here. Duplicate it by pressing Ctrl J and place it right side. And also the left side. Now group all the 3 confetti layers and hide it. We can now start our numbers. Take your text tool. I will use the font called Intro. Make sure your foreground color is white. And type the number 2. Increase the font size. and place it there. Now duplicate the font by holding Alt and drag it. Change the number to 0. Place it slightly tilted. That looks good for me. We will do the same thing and change the numbers. Group all the numbers and place it at the center. Now we created our numbers, it's time to add some drop shadows. Double click the numbers layer and select drop shadow. Change the color to black. Change the size to 70 pixels and spread to 5%, distance to 36 pixels, and opacity to 70%. Click OK. Add the drop shadow to the other number layers by holding Alt and drag the drop shadow to the other layers. Create a new layer. Now take your lasso tool and make a shape, like I'm doing. Now take your gradient tool and make sure your gradient is black to none. Drag it in the shape to create the gradient effect in that shape only. That looks good for me. Press Ctrl D to deselect the selection. Reduce its opacity. We will add Gaussian blur to it. Make sure the radius is 3 pixels. We will do the same process to the layer of the number 1. Place the shadow layer below our layer of the number 1. Reduce its opacity. And add little Gaussian blur. Now unhide the confetti layer. Place the confetti group layer where you wish. Now we will erase some of the confetti by click the mask icon. Take your brush tool and make sure the hardness is 0%. Now start erasing the part you don't like. You can duplicate it. And place it at the bottom. You can duplicate the confetti you like just by holding Alt and drag it. I will duplicate the confettis and place it at the random areas. We finally finished our confetti effect in Photoshop. It really was a long tutorial, but I do hope that you learned even a little about the creation. I will be eternally thankful to you. Please do subscribe, like, to help me. If you have any doubt, please feel free to comment. I will answer to your comment within an hour. Thank you. Until my next tutorial, stay happy.